right there. See this chart? It's a one-day chart of Onyxcoin. This is what we're going to talk about right there and why it's important and how XCN is defying XRP. As of the making of this video right now, let's real quick check the XRP price, and then I'm going to explain something. I'm going to teach everyone something that 99% of crypto investors have, and stock investors have no idea about. And I know this from firsthand experience because I'm part of this group. XRP is down 2.88% because Bitcoin is down. But XCN is doing something different. There is a massive volume pump. We are now on the third day of this pump. And I got super excited 3 hours after the initial 1 hour candle came in, $250 million purchased very fast. I'm going to say something that many people will find hard to believe, but this is the truth, and then I'm going to explain it. I have the ability, and a lot of wealthy people have the ability, and hedge funds have the ability and do manipulate in a positive way charts. We have the ability to change the future of a chart. You see, a lot of people spend a lot of time on technical analysis, and all you're doing is you're reading a pulse or a heartbeat of human behavior and emotion toward a given stock or cryptocurrency. Now, as I say that, type 1 if you find that hard to believe. I'm very sincere right now. I want to know. Type 1 if you find that hard to believe that I, or specific people, groups of people, hedge funds, things like that, have the ability to manipulate a chart positively by simply buying. All right. Right now, let me go to XCN, then I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Right now, XCN is up 3.6%. So it's up double. If XRP is down 3.5%, XCN's up 3.5%. You're doing twice as good as XRP holders right now. And a lot of people followed what I did. I didn't say you should do it, but I sold half of my XRP at $2.06. I did not announce it till it was $2.20, so that everyone could sell at a higher price if they chose to. And I said, I'm buying XCN. And I said, XCN will have a easier opportunity of 5xing, going from 1 penny at that time to 5 cents. Then it will take XRP to go up less than 5x from $2.20 to $10. All right. And as of right now, anyone that bought XCN has doubled their money. Whereas the people that held onto their XRP have made 10 cents profit. All right. Which isn't even 1%. Right? Am I right? All right. 10 cents on, you guys do the math. 10 cents on 220. If it went from 220 to 230, what's the percentage gain? Now I want to explain something. Obviously, XCN is in the DeFi realm. It's more decentralized than XRP because you get to vote on proposals. So right then and there, you're more decentralized than XRP. Please don't read the Ripple website that says it's decentralized and then come whining and getting angry, because a lot of XRP investors have diamond hands, and diamond hands don't make a lot of money, okay? They're overly emotional. I get excited about making money, so I've got to flip my money over and over. That's how I become wealthy, right? So I'm going to explain now how I have the ability, you have the ability, wealthy people have the ability to change the future of a cryptocurrency or a stock. Before I do, this is we extended that sale in the DeFi, the AI crypto course for 24 hours, and I'll have all the videos uploaded as soon as I get home today. That's the first thing I do in an hour, is upload the rest of the course. And there's a special invite sale if you want to join the DeFi group, where you get monthly coaching calls, the trade picks, and the instruction on how to buy and invest in DeFi, stake, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a link down to all that right there. Okay. What happened 3 days ago on XCN was that, it's going to be hard to show you right here. Let me see if I could do it. You see this spike in price right here, and you see this rise in volume, then it dropped, but then you see it spike again on yet another spike in volume. All right, now something very interesting is happening right here on not a spike in volume. Two things are happening. First off, myself and hundreds of technical analysis traders around the world knew that once XCN closed above 2 cents, it was a game changer. And then when it closed over 2 cents for 2 days, my Chuck Woolery impression, horrible one. Name what talk show what TV show he had. If anyone knows, it'll tell your age. But my point being is, when you got that 2 and 2 action going, we had a game changer. Well, both of those happened on price spikes. The one yesterday was very exciting because as the first price spike happened, along with the volume spike, and it came subsequent, drop in price, which normally happens when volume spike slows down. What happened is right before in the last hourly candle close of the day, it spiked again. Now I've done this on purpose, where I have the ability to look at a crypto, and let's say I've got $100,000 deploy. And in order to, if I wanted to deploy that within a 15-minute or a half an hour time frame, I would have to run the price up, even on Coinbase, let's say 5, 10, 15%, just to get that initial order. All right. A couple things happen when those happen. It causes this big spike candle. You'll see the wick, and then it drops down. That's someone like me that just, I want it, right? The one that happened, the first one on XCN, was a lot of money. It was an initial $250 million that moved in an hour. It was a lot of money. And whoever bought that said, I don't care what happens to the price, I want it now. This usually happens, it happens preceding a big news event. I'm not saying there's a big news event coming out with XCN or Onyxcoin, but this is normally what happens in stocks and in crypto, large crypto. What happened then was a chain of events, because that volume spike set off a bunch of algorithmic trading bots and a lot of technical analysis guys that were watching specific projects that all of a sudden their eyeballs went to XCN. And then it started trending on CoinMarketCap. Well, when it dropped that day, and then it did it again right before 5 o'clock, the closing of that 24-hour crypto market, even though crypto doesn't close, I want you to understand the time of day is very important. It now wicked a second 2-cent candle. Real quick, guys, can you throw out type XCN or XRP if you own both of those? Let's help get this algo going, because this is your investment. If you own either of those, this is your investment. Let's get the algo woke up. Thank you. And just type it like crazy. Just go crazy. Type 10 times XCN. Now, so it closed the second time. It wicked above 2 cents. Now, a lot of people wouldn't understand this, but I'm going to explain something. It's a conspiracy theory, but it's very true. There are a lot of people, let's say you have government officials that are voting for a policy that everyone knows would cause inflation to rise. Like, why would you do that? Or the Federal Reserve does something that you know is going to inflate prices, like print a bunch of money. All right. I've heard this comment so many times before, and I want you to do me something, do me a favor. Type 10 if you've ever heard anyone think or talk like this. Or have you ever heard anyone think like this? They would say, why would they vote for this? Because if my prices go up, our prices go up at the grocery store, they're going to pay higher grocery prices too. Like, so why would they do this? They must be confused or deceived, right? All right, so type 10 if you've heard that before. This is the mentality of a very uneducated person when it comes to economics, finance, and how the world actually works monetarily. The reason why government officials would do that is because that gives them more money in their pocket, and they're already wealthier than that person that thinks that. All that person thinks, they're a poor mentality. Oh my gosh, it's going to cause the price of eggs to go up double and the price of bread to go up double. The rich people love that your egg prices and bread prices went up double. You want to know why? Because eventually the squeeze gets enough to where you default on your car, you default on your home, and that added pressure for a certain amount of time, they have subsidiaries and companies, they're out buying your stuff for pennies on the dollar. They're taking advantage of the fact that most Americans and around the world, well, mostly Americans and European countries, are so leveraged based off of credit. That's why you pay like $150,000 for a watch, or you pay all these stupid amounts when really all over the world it's a lot cheaper outside of the Western world, because Americans have access to easy credit and they don't think, and all they care about is looking to impress someone that they probably don't even respect. Okay, so on the same side, the pump with XCN, I'm going to be the first one to teach you this, and probably the only person on the internet that's got the cones to tell you this, or even, I'm telling you right now, hedge fund, there's a lot of big money that watches this channel. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm still blown away by it, but they understand. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to ask them a certain question, because they're hiding behind their identity's not out with these things. All right, to all the people with a lot of money that agree and understand what I'm trying to teach everybody equally right here for free, type 100 when you understand this point I'm going to make. When a big person, a hedge fund, or someone like me, an investor, comes in and buys something up and runs the price up above a critical point on it, let's say it's a descending wedge and a stock or a crypto's got to make a decision. There's an inflection point everyone is waiting for. Someone like me can go in and go, I'll buy up $250,000 of that crypto right now, and I'll make the decision for them. Cause a spike candle, a God candle, whatever. I hate using that term, but a spike candle, even though it retraces, I just bought up a certain percentage of the order book. And then what happens is I want to make sure it sits on resistance and support. And so the next day I'll do it again. And then what happens is I know that it just triggered a ton of algo traders. The volume all of a sudden follows my move because people don't know what's going on. See all the people typing 100 right now? I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make this very, very clear to you. I'm not joking. This is not bragging. I don't have a problem doing videos in my car or joking around with a wig because I know what I'm talking about. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm trying my hardest to help people, but most human beings have a poverty mindset and will never break out of their ideology. I'll give you an example. I was literally in a store. I was at Shields. Free, American-owned, Christian-owned, awesome, employee-owned store. Buying some shoes, and I got recognized by an amazing subscriber. Said, hey, I watch you all the time. And the first question I asked, do you own any crypto? And he said, no, I own gold. And I said, you should buy crypto. He goes, I'm in IT. And he says, in my profession, that's vaporware. And I explained why he shouldn't consider it vaporware. But my point being is, an amazing person, but hadn't broken out of that ideology, right? And thought, well, wait a minute, just, gold, not only can they mine as much as they want, they just got to open up mining pits, but also they just created gold with CERN. I know it's not, and people are going to tell me, it's not enough to make it worth it. Yeah, that's how technology works. It always starts there. Proof of concept, we could do it. Now we're going to make it profitable. That's how it works. There are super, super awesome, successful people watching this channel. And they're telling you right now by typing 100, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to explain this to you. This volume pump, whoever's doing this, which is a much bigger buyer than me, I do not own $250 million worth of this, but I know how this game's played, and there's somebody that wants to make sure that Onyxcoin sits above 2 cents, and they're doing it in these spikes. So let me show you the spike again. Spike by volume pump. Spike, close again over 2 cents. Next day, close over 2 cents. Right now, on no volume, on lower volume, this spike is happening right now as we speak. Do you want to know why? It's because a lot of sellers, I put out a tweet the other day and somebody got all upset that I put it out, but there was a $500,000 sell order, a limit order of XCN sitting at 0.022. And I put out, and well, this guy's about to be bummed because it's about to get eaten up and it's going to blow past it. Well, what happened was that person ended up taking it down and it ran past 2.2 because it was free. There are a lot of people trying to sell right now that aren't very intelligent. I'm going to be honest with you, that can't identify what's going on with this volume pump. And they're trying to sell because they bought at like 2.2 or 2.5. And they're like trying to get whatever, or they bought it like 1.6. They're trying to make a profit and they don't understand the amount of volume that's moving into this. Let me give you an example. What does it say right now? Market cap. So it says volume's down today, obviously 40%. Because it's based off of yesterday's. Yesterday's volume was up 700% more than the average volume that XCN's seen in the last 30 days. If you don't realize the amount of money it's pushing in to push this thing over, it's this resistance point of 2.0 to 2.2. Once it does, it's gonna bump 2.7 to 3 so fast your head will spin because there's not a lot of resistance up to that. And I want to teach you this because this is important for you to understand and learn. This is one thing that no technical analysis TA guy that charges you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to take their course. And that's why my courses are always around $200, except for that DeFi one, because that's where the big money's being made. And the students know that. They don't talk about volume. As a matter of fact, there's so many YouTubers out there that have no idea when I do a video. Just the sheer amount of people watching this, Google and YouTube can try and hide it all they want between the views and the subscribers. I wouldn't look at that. When you understand, when I do a video, and I understand this, that's why I can't sell anything, and I've sort of pigeonholed myself into I can only make money from courses because I can't sell what I talk about into my channel knowing about it. When tens of thousands of people go in and move into something, there's a lot of power there. You see, I'm setting everybody up for the greatest silver trade on earth, and I'm making everyone rich on the crypto side during this cycle, and then we're going to go hit silver. And I make no qualms about it. I have no problem sharing this because there's going to be nobody else that can make this move, not because of me, but because of God and because of you, Ninja Nation. Type Ninja Nation if you are foaming at the mouth excited about the next move from crypto into silver. I'm just curious because there is a time to strike, and there's a time for everything. And that time's going to come quicker than you think. And I am so excited for this. See, this isn't a me versus you. This is us against the world. And we're going to keep crushing it. We're going to keep being successful, and we're going to keep winning. And you're never going to get tired of winning. Type winning if you ain't getting tired yet of winning. Praise God for this opportunity. Thank you, Lord. All right. With that being said, if you want the AI course, I extended it for 24 hours. Then the price is going up. If you buy the AI course and you want to be part of the DeFi course and you're serious and you've got over $5,000 to $10,000 invested in crypto, you may want to check that group out. It will change the way you think about investing in crypto. I can guarantee that. And you're not supposed to put out guarantees, but trust me, I think really different. I'm not promising you're going to get rich. I'm promising that you're going to change your mentality on how to invest and how markets work, how they function. As a matter of fact, we've had to cool the DeFi group down. They're too powerful. All right. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is going to be right about the next move between XCN and XRP. That's why I'm not going to the XRP event. I don't want to be seen around all those wild people. All right. Except for you guys. Economic Ninja is out.